something that I was going to say was better than ever was
Better than ever is our
paying bills is
ability.
better than ever. Is you don't have to do anything.
Better than ever.
Is it better than ever?
It's better than ever because
I'm like, I'm gonna make everything better. It's gonna be awesome.
Better than it's ever been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is our,
Yeah.
we're going to be thankful for things.
Even if you use
Yeah, that's right.
Do you do, I see you in the mornings and you're wearing your CrossFit stuff.
Yeah.
Do you do CrossFit?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I don't think we've talked about this.
Yeah.
So when did you start doing CrossFit?
About 4 years ago.
Okay. Awesome. And then I do a bunch of CrossFit stuff, but not at a box, and I do it slower. Slower and alone. And I've done it before in groups, but I just feel like I'm going to get hurt.
I know.
Anyway, yeah. Are you hurt?
You tend to get competitive.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I
Especially
do.
with the younger guys.
Yes, you can get competitive.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I enjoy. I've got all the stuff to do it at home.
Yeah.
But it's for me.
Yeah.
I've got to go to I like the class setting that where, and you just got to be careful.
Yeah, for sure.
Just don't try if it's don't RX everything and just go easy.
Did you do a Murph?
I've done it. I didn't get to do it this year. We were out of town, but yeah.
Gosh, it's so hard.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I was saying in one of the earlier podcasts, like me and one of the younger guys at church, he's like, we should do a Murph, because I was like, I'm not doing it this year. Then he asked me to do it, so I ended up doing it. So anyway, but I kipped. I didn't do like real pull-ups. I can do pull-ups, but not 100. So I can usually do like 40, but not 100. So are you hurt?
No, I'm
You're
not.
hurt. You
I'm
feel
not
okay?
hurt. I feel
All right.
good.
Good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I get a little low back stuff every now and then
me too.
but just got to be careful.
Yeah.
So
it's so funny that my wife pointed this out, so I'm not going to steal her joke, but she pointed out that isn't it bad that CrossFit has their own line of like braces and things that says CrossFit on it? You're like, that's not a good sign.
I think it's got a bad stigma around that.
Yeah.
That is, and I think, the people that own that gym, Clayton and Jesse Joe Young,
Okay.
they're awesome people.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
Josh Hardcastle, I don't know if you know Josh. Josh
I know
coaches
Josh.
up there, and they've got some really good coaches in there.
Yeah, that's cool.
They make sure they watch it, and if especially new people, they're making sure that they're not going to do anything that's going to injure themselves. And the programming that they go off of is it's a huge gym that trains all the the CrossFit Games athletes, Mayhem or something. But anyway.
Man, I felt like I know. I mean, when I very first started, you feel like you know what a squat is or a kettlebell swing, and you're like, there's so much to it. To all of those things. There really is. Yeah. All right. So, Byron Stephenson, tell me your story about barbecue. Like, how'd you get into this world?
Yeah. So I got my grandparents who got me into barbecue. They started a barbecue restaurant in Wingate, Texas, which is about 35 miles southwest of here in Runnels County, right down 277 between Abilene and San Angelo. My granddad was born on that place. He was raised there. He farmed and ranched his whole life and would do some barbecuing for the Lions Club or, for friends and family reunions and things like that. And finally just decided he wanted to open up a little commercial kitchen on his farm down there.
Cool.
He put a few tables in there, and next thing you know, he's opening up on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and he's cooking steaks and barbecue.
Just 2 nights.
All right. That's the way it started off in 1989.
Okay.
And I was in middle school probably at the time. I started working out there when I was in the 7th grade, I think.
Really? Yeah.
Maybe younger.
Yeah.
But I had to stand on a 5-gallon bucket to wash dishes. So that was my start in the barbecue business.
Yeah.
So my granddad taught me all, I worked up from there and did, mainly doing, cutting meat or grilling steaks, things like that. They became very busy. They added on very soon. They made Texas Monthly Top 50 twice. They were the real deal. I mean, they would serve close to 500 people on a Saturday night out there in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
And
in between Abilene and San Angelo?
In the middle of nowhere.
Wow. Interesting.
So they had, it was much different. They did 3 meats. It was brisket, ribs, and sausage.
All right. Yeah.
you actually a brisket plate was like $5.
Yeah.
And you served yourself. He would he would literally cut the brisket up in front of you and say, just take whatever you want.
Wow. You don't do that anymore.
No.
Yeah, that's funny.
No.
Yeah.
So it was 3 sides. It was beans, potato salad, and coleslaw, and that was it.
That's
and
awesome.
so 3 meats, 3 sides, and you got to order a 1, 2, or 3 meat, kind of like we have now.
Yeah.
Those were your options. And he cooked ribeyes, so there was several different sizes of ribeyes. So
That's awesome.
yeah. But it was a happening place, and spent all of my childhood there, working every weekend.
Yeah.
They expanded to Sweetwater. They had one in Winters at one time.
Wow.
They had a lot going on, and then finally in 2004 they decided to retire.
Wow.
It got harder and harder to find help out there.
Yeah.
They, my brother, my cousins, all of us kids worked down there.
Okay.
So, and helped them. So.
And it was called, what was it
It
called?
was called The Shed.
It was called The
Mhm.
Shed.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Yep. That farm is still there.
Yeah.
Stacy and I were able to buy that back in 2013
Wow.
from them,
Yeah.
and they got to stay there until they passed away. So
Wow.
that was their retirement. So they financed it for us. We made payments to them, and
Wow. Yeah.
it's really cool. There's a lot of family history. That place was settled by my granddad's grandfather in 1890.
Wow.
So it's been in our family for nearly 130 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a whole other deal, but I always think about the way they settled Texas, like when they stopped.
Yeah.
And you just think there's no water here. Like what was that like?
Yeah. How did they decide this is where I want to be?
Yeah, this is it. Maybe you just got tired and you're like, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah.
We're stopping right here.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Yeah. So that's awesome. So you grew up around the business you saw, I mean, just the amount of reps that you got slicing or seeing a piece of meat or seeing a ribeye or something like that was probably incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We cooked so many steaks,
Yeah.
so many briskets. And a lot of those, the way we season our briskets, the way we've basically not changed much.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the quality of brisket and how much trimming we do prior to cooking.
Okay.
Those are 2
Interesting.
things that we've changed that my granddad probably didn't do.
Yeah. What was it like when you were a kid? What was different about barbecue? I mean, you just said it changed a little bit, but I mean, I feel like in the last maybe 10 years, people have really started looking at briskets and barbecue and things like that.
Yeah.
So how was it different back then?
It really took off. I think you can accredit, all the Texas Monthly stuff,
Yeah.
and barbecue is there in the, I would say in the 2010s to, in the 2013, 15, all in that area, they were, barbecue got to be really cool,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was just the cool thing to do. And everybody wanted to go try all the places. And barbecue has changed. I think, people have gotten really fancy with it. Used to, it was very simple.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
brisket, ribs, and sausage, beans, and potato salad. And
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
And now it is lots of different meats, lots of different ways to prepare this stuff. And people get crazy with their seasonings, their different woods, it's, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
And, we love to go try other barbecue. There's everybody's got their own way of doing it.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it just because it's your way doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's the exact correct way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of ways to cook a brisket.
Yeah. But there are lots of bad ways.
Yeah, that's true. That's
There
true.
are bad ways. Okay, so that's your growing up story. What about your story? Like, how did you start? How did you rekindle the shed?
So when Stacy and I were married in 1999, I continued working there. We had our daughter. I decided that my grandparents, I loved them. I loved helping them, but I was sick of the restaurant business.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything else to do with it. I swore when I left there in 2001, I would never be involved in the restaurant business ever again.
Isn't that how life goes? You're like, I'm out of here. And then,
So,
it's a plan.
started had our family, moved to Abilene, worked a job, ended up starting my own business in 2007, I believe.
Okay.
And I started a little construction business, had a bulldozer and a backhoe and a dump truck. And, did some heavy construction type stuff. And then, 2012, kind of get involved a little bit of oilfield type stuff and did that, dabbled in that a little bit. went out to Midland and chased all the oil money and tried to get, got in with some bigger companies. And then in 2014, the oil prices just tanked and it shut off just like you shut off a light switch. I mean, all of our equipment, brought it back from Midland, and had all these high dollar loans, and it was terrible. And
just one of those pieces of machinery is like $250,000 or something.
And we had motor graders and trucks and all kinds of stuff. And thankfully, we were able to get all that stuff sold and were able to let some of those guys go. But and Stacy and I were talking, and through that time had a huge encounter with the Lord and changed my whole life. And right in that time, and we just decided to go all in on the barbecue deal. And she said, this is what you're good at. This is, through that whole time, even though I said I didn't want to be part of the restaurant business, I loved cooking.
Really? Yeah.
Always. Yeah, we still help my grandparents cater all the time. And it was just something that I'd bought my granddad's pit.
Oh, really? Yeah.
All of his catering equipment and all that. And we had all that stuff, and just to have it. And, just decided that, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we found a spot there on Buffalo Gap Road. Yeah. And Terry Casey, was the owner of that Wiley Junction strip. We leased a little 2,100 square foot place.
Yeah. That's the newer place, right?
No, that's the one up there by Mr. Burger on the corner of Abilene. That was our first spot. Yeah, there's a Papa John's in there now. We started off. We were the first one in that spot, in that Papa John's spot. Yeah. So built a little pit room out back. Yeah, and started it from there.
Yeah, and you gotta have. I mean, your fire's going all night, right? I mean, or 24 hours a day. What's that like?
Yeah. So when we started that back then, it was just we didn't have near as many cookers. We had one Bewley, and then my granddad's rotisserie. And
what's a Bewley?
A Bewley is it's an indirect cooker. Okay. It's an offset smoker. It's the ones we have out in our pit room. They're built in Dallas, Texas. Okay. Larry Lewis owns that, and he builds these big commercial cookers, and they're awesome. They've got a damper on them. Okay. His father-in-law, Mr. Bewley, started that company in the 70s. And I went around whenever we decided to do this. I was looking for a pit, and I couldn't decide which one to get, whether to get, the Mobergs were big, and the big 1,000-gallon offsets. And I found this one, went and Larry invited me to come down. I put some ribs on there, cooked a brisket, spent the night in Dallas, went back and got them off the next morning, and I loved it. And we made a deal, and I brought that thing back to Abilene. So
I don't think about I'm going to go there. Hey, I'm going to spend 12 hours there and cook
I know. When you're making an investment, and for us, it was just, making that investment to get this going. It's like, man, I've got to see how this thing cooks and see how it works. And I loved it. And it's got there's some advantages to it. It's got a concrete refractory firebox that holds heat really well. It's insulated, very efficient on wood. Yeah. It's all wood fired. It does have a damper, so you don't have to stay there with those fires all night long. So you get some coals built up. It'll hold those briskets through the night.
Really?
So our cook process looks like, we put those briskets on about 8 a.m. Yeah. We trim them the day before, park them in the walk-in cooler, and put them on the next morning. Okay. Then we'll cook them all day. Okay. Wrap them about 4 o'clock when it's time to go home. Okay. And put them back on that pit and let them sit overnight. And they rest on all night on the pit.
Huh. Interesting. And that same temp or no?
No, it's a lower temp.
It's a lower temp. Okay.
We try to keep that pit around 150 to 170 degrees to hold those briskets overnight, and then they'll be ready for lunch service the next day.
All right. Interesting.
So it's a 24-hour deal.
Yeah.
So we're running a day ahead all the time.
Yeah. You don't ever want to be under the gun where you need a brisket to be done at a certain time, because it's not going to be done. No. That's the universal law of the brisket. Yeah. I do it where I trim at like 9 p.m., put it on at 10, and then measure it like 7 or 8, pull it, and then I put it in a cooler, like I wrap it in blankets in a cooler till like 6 p.m.
Yep.
it's just like to rest it that, I don't know if I'm doing it right, but to rest it that long, I always have really good luck with it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
You got to rest it.
Yeah,
It's a huge
yeah.
part of the
So you're
cook
resting
process.
it for a day? Is that what you're saying? Or what is
overnight.
it? 12?
Overnight,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Like 12 hours or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good to know.
Yeah.
And then you wrap it in
when we get there the
Yeah.
next morning.
Yeah.
So that brisket is set there on the pit at about 150 to 170 degrees.
Yeah.
We pull those off the next morning,
Okay.
get ready to go on with our next batch.
Okay.
Then they go into the warmer.
Okay.
And they hold in that warmer until lunch service.
That's
so
awesome.
from 8 a.m. to 11.
Yeah. That's awesome. Holy cow. I don't do briskets enough, and people probably don't do brisket. We need to do briskets more, but I just use an electric one. And I just cheat, and it's just so easy. And some my friends have these, these fancy, elaborate things, but they don't practice enough to really get good at it. And so mine, I just plug in, put a little wood in the bottom, and leave it overnight, wrap it, and then it's great.
Well, use what you have.
Yeah,
and
for real.
It's
Yeah, for sure.
You don't have to go buy some. Not everybody can have a $30,000 smoker that cooks 30 briskets. I mean, it's a Traeger, all these pellet grills are really popular. I don't have one, but I've got a green egg at home, and I've cooked a brisket on a green egg, and it works great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love it.
Yeah. I always see those, and I just wonder how they go. So if surely people ask you about briskets, are they asking you about briskets all the time? Like, how do I cook a brisket? So what's your prescription on how to cook a brisket?
I mean, I think a lot of it is start with a really good cut of meat, because, that's number one for anything, whether it's a steak, a brisket, anything. Get the best quality that you can find. There is a huge difference between a select and a prime.
Yeah.
And if you can get a hold of the prime, it's worth the extra money.
Yeah.
And, I think trim it. You've got to trim some of that fat off there. You need to get that fat down to about a half inch is ideal over the cap of that thing, and
but not all of it off of there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We try to take off any sharp points, corners. There's a million videos on YouTube on how to trim one.
For sure. Yeah.
But trim it and don't hold back on the seasoning. I mean, that is a huge piece of protein that can handle the salt and pepper or whatever you want to put on there.
Yeah.
So don't be scared about seasoning that thing.
You take a 13-pound brisket, and you're only getting a little slice of that seasoning.
Yeah.
So you need a ton of seasoning on that. Yeah, for sure. Yep. I wonder. So you go to the store, like somebody like me, you go to the store and buy this brisket, and maybe it's hard for people to cut off the fat because you're like, I just bought this. Like, I don't want to throwing this away.
Yeah.
Maybe so. All I do is like salt and pepper and paprika or something just to give it a nice color. But,
we do trim a lot off. I mean, people are shocked about how much fat comes off of that brisket.
Yeah.
So fat and just stuff that you need to have that thing shaped where it's going to cook well. Because if you got a bunch of sharp points, those are just going to burn up, and they're going to be crispy anyway, and you might as well get rid of them. So when you start off with that 15-pound brisket, you're really getting that thing down to about, I'm going to say probably 8 or 9 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're losing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So on that $6 a pound brisket that costs, that's a 15 pounder.
Yeah. That's
a $90 brisket right there.
Golly. Yeah.
And some of them are weighing closer to 20. I mean, it depends on the size of the briskets, but I mean, that's $120, anywhere from $90 to $120 brisket.
Yeah.
And you're throwing that stuff away, the trim that comes off that.
There's nothing to do with it. Really?
Well, we have used, we use all of our brisket trim to go in our sausage. Okay. So when we were able to go over to our new location, we were able to have enough space to make our own sausage. Okay. So we do our own sausage every other week. Okay. So we set up and do a huge batch and
then grind it or something.
We grind it all and season it, and then link it up, and then we cold smoke it and vacuum seal it and freeze it.
Yeah. And the history of the brisket is that it was kind of the cheap cut, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Back when my grandparents started this, they're paying 50 to 60 cents a pound. It was just a throwaway deal.
Crazy. And how much was, like at that time, how much was a steak?
Oh gosh, ribeyes. I don't know. I've tracked the price of brisket so much closer. I think we paid upwards of $17 a pound for ribeyes this week.
Yeah.
And briskets are $6. So it's all, it's relative. I think, ribeyes, I think probably there's been a bigger increase percentage wise in briskets over the last 10 to 15 years than there are than ribeyes, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I just go, I live by a United supermarket, and I just, for fun, I always cruise by the steaks just to look at them. And they're so expensive. And you think like, okay, a steak is $22 and an entree at wherever is like $15. So a whole entree already cooked. You go to Abuelo's or Chili's or whatever else. And so it's hard to buy steak when it's that expensive for sure. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So has it like the quality has changed maybe from the time that like when you were a kid?
Definitely. So those 50 to 60 cent a pound briskets that my grandparents were using, all they used were Select. And so I feel like the cattle, there's been more of a demand for the high choice or the prime, those USDA grades, the USDA grades, every animal that comes across there. And so they're all graded. And I think the cattle are better now. I think they grade better. And I do think that there's more, I think there's more demand for the higher end stuff now than there used to be.
You think there's more uniformity among those Select or Choice or Prime?
I think I do. I think the cattle have probably, I think people are trying to, through breeding and, the things that, AI and that they try to breed these cattle and try to, there's so much genetic testing in these cattle that you can breed for tenderness and marbling and everything. I mean, there's, when you select a bull to breed your cattle to, you can choose it based on tenderness.
Dial it in.
Absolutely. There's EPDs for that. So
what is that?
Expected progeny difference. It's something that these cattle are all, based on their genetics, their birth weight, their weaning weight, their yearling weight, their tenderness, their muscle, their marbling. I mean, the whole thing. It's all in there. So you can select these bulls based on those things.
I had no
those
idea.
traits.
I have no idea. That's a whole world.
Oh yeah,
that's
crazy.
So interesting. That's so crazy. There's so much information out there about briskets, and I don't know. One year we were going to, for Thanksgiving, we're going to make a turkey. And we did this crazy thing. We practiced. And, turkey's not brisket, but nobody practices.
Yeah.
Before Thanksgiving, hey, let's practice. Yeah. You need to practice. This is bad. Your turkey's bad. You need to step it up. And so just like with that, people need to, like a brisket, why don't you cook one a month and see what happens?
Yeah.
You need to, or maybe even take notes. I did this and this humidity and temperature and all this stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You got us those steaks before, in February. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I feel like I'm cheating, but it's just so easy. And especially with a bigger group, get the skillet out, get the burner, and just get it really hot with, I think it was avocado oil or something, and do whatever, how many ever minutes, take it to 105 degrees. I got all the probes. I got all my instruments and my tools, and then it was special. Yeah. It was really good. Yeah. But same with steaks. People don't practice. Yeah.
I know.
I'm about to throw my family under the bus here, but my parents, I love them, but they would buy bad steaks, not practice, cook them bad, and then say that they're not steak people. I'm like, yes, no one is steak people when they're cooked like this. Exactly. This is horrible. Yes. Anyway, what's your steak prescription?
Same thing. And we got sold on those Thermopens many
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago. And so
Is that like a
that's the probe that,
Okay,
you
yeah.
know, the instant read, you
Okay.
know, temperature
Yeah.
reader that we use every day in the restaurant.
Yeah.
We're a dealer for them. We sell them. They're
nice?
incredible.
Yeah.
And they're tough as can be.
Really?
And
you
it
can
is,
just cook
it's a
them.
foolproof way to cook the perfect steak
Is
every
it
time.
like Bluetooth or something? What is it?
You can, but it's just a little probe that you just
Yeah.
instant read temperature
That's awesome.
thermometer that, man, if you know you like one between rare and medium rare, then
Yeah.
pull that thing off there to 110 and
Yeah.
it's perfect every time.
Yeah.
And, you know, if somebody else wants it, so if we're cooking, I mean, maybe not if we're cooking like, you know, for the AI guys for 1,500 of them
Yeah.
because we're just
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're cooking 50 fillets for a small party
Yeah.
and those big 1.5 or
Yeah.
2-inch fillets, you really need to temp them
Yeah.
and make sure that, because when you go somewhere and you get an overcooked steak, it's rough. It's just hard to deal with. And I think, man, this could be so easily avoided if people would have,
Yeah.
if those cooks would have a thermopen in their pocket just to make sure that, yeah.
And you just
That's
probe
110, pull
Just-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So
It's sad when it's overcooked.
I know.
Whenever I go to a restaurant and I get steak, I want them to do what I can't do.
Yeah.
So like, because I feel like I'm decent at cooking steaks. And so I want you to have some magic of, you know, you bring it out here and I'm like, dang, this is incredible.
Yeah.
So me and Krista went to a resort a few times and it was in Mexico and it was just like not good. Yeah. It was like they threw it in the oven.
Yeah.
For a while and never seared it or anything or never put a crust on it. So
I know it's so many times, you know, and I've heard a lot of our customers say this. Why am I going to go to and pay for a steak somewhere when I know I can cook one way better at home?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I've talked about sous vide before, using the circulator. Do y'all use those?
We do
Yeah.
on certain things.
Okay.
Not on steaks a lot,
Yeah.
but we do on, you know, if you got a big, thick, like tomahawk or something
Yeah.
that, you know, you've got to either reverse sear or you know, sous vide is awesome.
Yeah.
But we do that on our tri-tip a lot.
Oh,
So
man. It's so great.
tri-tip's great with that sous vide.
Yeah. Especially if it's thick and then the very end of it. My favorite is that you can, if you're cooking for a lot of people, it's cooked.
Yeah.
You know, you go for a few hours, it's cooked, and all you got to do is just a minute, just
Yep.
like sear it, and then you're done.
Ready.
Okay, so I want to switch gears a little bit, and so I teach college, and people, not only college students, but they talk about all natural, and I always think, okay, what's more all natural than killing an animal? And we've totally lost that. We enjoy meat, but we've totally lost that process of like from being on the hoof to like the table.
Yeah.
And have you been a part of that? Have you broken down animals or hunted or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, you're exactly right that people don't realize where our food comes from anymore. They
for
think
sure.
it all comes from Walmart,
Right,
and that's where you get your meat.
Right,
and
yeah.
they don't understand that the process and the work that goes into that and raising those animals or, you know, hunting for your food and things like that.
Yeah.
So absolutely, people don't realize it. But, you know, growing up, I grew up around cattle all the time, hunted all the time. For sure. And, you know, it is something that, you know, you talk about the all natural or organic or, you know, whatever people are, you know, doing. I think there's all grass fed. There's everybody's going, you know, they're looking at all the grass fed stuff, which I've eaten grass fed. I've raised one and had it processed and tried the grass fed. And it was, I mean, I haven't, I'd much rather eat a grain fed.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Animal. As far as cattle go. Yeah. You know, it's not like a elk or deer or things like that. But when it comes to cattle, that time on grain, where they get to be grain finished, where they get all that super marbling, and I just feel like that it's just a better quality piece of meat.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
And somebody might argue with me about that. I don't know if you've had much grass fed stuff, but
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah.
sure I've had. Yeah.
But-
I don't know if it's AI, and you may have seen the video before, but there's, the chutes with all the cattle, in the feedlot or whatever, and they're coming by and just dumping grass on their head and they're in the trough.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Like,
I
and
mean,
that's
a
grass-fed?
feedlot. I wouldn't know.
Okay, that's
because they've
not-
got grain and stuff mixed with that.
Okay.
With that silage or hay and stuff, they're going by. There's a feed truck coming by every day.
Yeah.
That's a mass-produced product that, unfortunately, is the way our beef is produced.
Yeah,
and it's not.
Yeah.
You're looking at, if you look at the way the Native Americans had, harvested buffalo and things like that. Those animals ate grass, and the cattle are similar to bison. And, I think if you could get one fat on grass, I'd love to give it another shot. But the beef that is the grass-fed beef that I've had, the ground beef is awesome.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
But people's argument is that, when you feed it all the grain, they get these omega-6 fatty acids, that are supposed to be not healthy for you.
Okay.
Omega-3s are I think I might have that backwards, but I think the omega-3s that are in the grass-fed are better for you. So, and that fat tends to be more yellow when it's grass-fed.
Okay.
So,
interesting. So the marbling is more yellow?
Yes.
All right. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. It's way different.
Yeah. Have you ever broken down a cow all the way?
I never have. Mm-mm.
They have that school at Texas A&M.
Yes.
I always want to do that, but I haven't done it. So
there's a guy that we follow on social media, the Bearded Butcher, and he's always breaking down cattle and showing you how to do these different things. Yeah. He's got very sharp knives, and you got to have some really specialized equipment.
Yes,
big equipment, big saws,
reciprocating saws,
huge,
and band saws, and everything
crazy.
Else. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like even. We watched for a while when my boys were little. We watched that. There was some, I don't remember what channel it's on, Forged in Fire. Whether you got to make the blade, you got to like smelt whatever and make the blade. But they have this, like at the end of the show, they have the pig hanging up, but they have all the blood drained out of that pig. It's this pristine, clinical kind of pig. It's not real. Yeah. It's real, but it's, it's like embalmed or something.
Sure.
So it's kind of strange. But we just don't have that in our imagination about how it goes from like being that to like on the table. And every time I'm down to one deer every other year or something like that. But every time I look through that scope, I'm like, this is 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's forever to get it from there to ready to eat.
Yep.
Forever. Yeah.
And that's work.
And that's small compared to a cow.
Yeah. You're looking at a 850 pound carcass. How do you got to have some equipment to handle that thing just to break it down.
Yeah. And you don't want it to be warm out. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You better have a huge walk-in cooler with a winch and everything else.
Yeah.
So it's a process.
Yeah.
That people don't realize how huge those things are.
Yeah. It was like 2021. I got a pronghorn tag, and it was awesome. It was really cool. And me and a buddy, it was his turn to shoot because I'd gotten one 4 years before, and I shot one. But anyway, we sneak. There's not a tree. There's like literally not one tree. And so I've got the decoy and he's behind me and we're sneaking up on this thing. And so we do the whole thing and then we shoot the pronghorn. He got it. It was incredible. But then you got to do something with it. And it was October, but it was 91 degrees.
Wow.
And there was not a tree. And we just pulled the truck up beside it and broke that thing down. And it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
And I don't know how flies find. I'm like, how are flies here? This is incredible. There's no water. But anyway, they found us. But yeah, we don't have that idea at all in our mind about how we get all those things. So, what separates a backyard cook from somebody who can produce a great brisket every day? And one of the things that I marvel at for you guys is I'm just cooking one.
Yeah.
And y'all are, how many a day you cook?
Oh gosh, it depends on our catering, but on average, it's averaging 30 to 30 at the first of the week, ramping up to 40 to 50 at the end of the week. And all that depends on catering. I mean, we have one event next week that's going to require 100 briskets. We'll go through 135 briskets in one day next week.
Wow.
One day.
And
And so, no, and just to, not every brisket is perfect, I can assure you.
oh yeah, for sure.
And, you're going to get some that's like, oh man, I don't know if I think we need to chop this one. This needs to be
Stinker.
chopped sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's
But-
this one's not good. So
But you go ahead and cook it, and then you set it aside. Cook it, and then
we don't know that it's not maybe not meeting up to our standard until we get it on that cutting board out there in front of everybody, and we're like, this one got a little crispy on the end, or this one might be just a little too dry, or there's things that you don't like, and and I've always told our guys, don't worry about it. I mean, it's if you probably don't want me on the cutting board because I am way too hard on my product.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm probably not gonna serve near as much of it as other people. I'm gonna have a pan of chopped brisket.
Yeah.
I'm kicking that piece back. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So not everyone's just because we're cooking 135 briskets, it doesn't mean that every one of them is exactly the way you want it.
Yeah.
So
130 briskets times 15 pounds.
Mhm.
Gosh.
starting off, they're 15 to 20. Mm-hmm.
Or 20.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 2,000 pounds of brisket.
Yes.
And it's like a huge truck that delivers it to you or something?
Yeah, we get 2 deliveries a week, and we use one place up in Nebraska is where all those come from.
Huh.
And unfortunately, it's probably like you talked about, a mass-produced feed yard that they do feed those cattle grain, and but they're all Angus, and they're all grade and prime, and there's no hormones and no antibiotics, and it's good product. It's the best we can buy. We start with a really, really good quality beef.
What are barbecue myths that are just wrong or drive you crazy? Do you hear these all the time?
I think you can't, some people, everybody has, like we talked about there, everybody has their own way of doing it, and they think their way is the only way to do it. Well, we wrap in foil. Well, we don't. Well, we use a foil boat, and
foil boat. What does that mean?
Foil boat. That's so when they get that brisket about ready, they put foil underneath that brisket and build a little boat so it holds all the moisture, and all the drippings are caught in that little boat. But it's still getting smoke on the top of it.
Okay. But and they like this.
Yes.
But okay.
Yeah. And some people, you have to use a binder when you season. That's not true. And some people use mustard, and some people use tallow. Some people baste with tallow. Some people baste with, they've got all kinds of stuff. They spritz their briskets as they cook them. And some of these things that I wouldn't say those are myths. I mean, it might work, but I'm not 100% sure that that it makes that big of a difference. But
golly, like with steaks, I feel like sometimes I get too uptight because I'll be at somebody's house watching them do it, and I'm just like, I can't. I just cannot watch you ruin $100 worth of steaks. Kills me.
Stacy's got a saying when we're at somebody's house or something. She goes, "Oh, look out! It's kitchen control." I have to. I offer my help. Oh yeah, and everybody's terrified to cook for us.
Oh really? Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe we're cooking for the shed people.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't care. It's not a big deal. And Stacy's always giving me a hard time about kitchen control, but I do that mainly with our family or something. But anyway, I'm not going to come into your kitchen and go, give me that. I'm not. You can't cook my steak. No. And if we're getting prepared a meal by somebody else at somebody else's house, I'm just happy not to be cooking. We cook all the time.
There you go. Yeah, I'll eat anything.
Yes.
That's right. That's awesome. Yeah. There used to be a SNL sketch where the IT guy would be like, move. He would come up to your computer and make you move anyway. So maybe that's kitchen control. Move.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's what's fun about with a steak, that you can sear it or you can grill it, or there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it, and it's fun to try all the different methods or whatever. Yeah. There is, you mentioned it, like in maybe 2012, 13, 14, 15, it started becoming a fad.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably why I got into it, like with my social media guide was Aaron Franklin.
Absolutely.
And
he set it off.
yeah. And even now when I trim, sometimes I'll just put on the video just to make sure that I'm hitting all the things correctly. Because every now and then I'll forget a step and I'm like, dang it, I'll ruin a brisket or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like, is it becoming easier because of technology, because of information?
Yeah, I think for information, because you can go onto YouTube and watch and learn everything about, before it was, all you had was Aaron Franklin's method for cooking one. And I mean, he's the OG. He is the guy that put all of this out there.
Yeah.
And he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And his little videos and stuff back in the early 2010s and stuff, or 08 maybe. I don't know when all that started, but it was so interesting to me, and keeping up with all that, and just everything that has spun off of what he's done has just been incredible. Yeah. So he did a lot for the barbecue industry as a whole. Yeah.
I think so. It might be like this. You can comment on this, but in professor world and lots of other worlds, pre-2000, for example, from year 1000 to 2000, you went to college because I had the secrets, and you come to my class because I'm going to tell you the secrets. Only I know what's behind the curtain. And so maybe that's what it was with your grandparents, because only they knew how to cook this brisket, and it was kind of a secret, and I was like mysterious. They're smoking something, but we don't know how, and we don't know the timing and the temp and all that stuff. But I don't know. Was it like that when you were growing up?
Oh, absolutely. There's no podcasts. There's no, I mean, he told me how to cook a brisket, and that's all I knew. Yeah. You unwrap the brisket, you season it right there with table salt and coarse black pepper, and there was no trimming. That was unheard of. And when the first time I saw Aaron Franklin trim a brisket, I was like, what? That's the way you do this? Okay. This is cool.
Because your grandparents didn't trim?
No.
Really?
They did not trim anything. All that fat was trimmed on the cutting board. And he had the way he did those, he did a fantastic job with his brisket. And I remember everybody loved it. And, obviously he was in Texas Monthly twice. And, but he would take those briskets off that pit and go straight into a cooler. Yeah. Not wrapped, nothing. Just brisket on top of brisket, and put them in the cooler and shut the lid, and they would rest. So he'd cook those briskets all night, and he'd have to go out there and feed those pits at night. Yeah. And he would put those briskets in that cooler in the morning, like, 8 or 9 o'clock. And then he wouldn't be open for lunch. He was open for dinner service. Okay. And so they'd sit in that cooler all day. Yeah. And you'd open the lid. I mean, they'd just been in there just resting and steaming. And it was like the best brisket you've ever had. So,
But then all the seasoning that he put on the outside, he trims off?
Not all of it, some of it. But those select briskets, they didn't have just a ton of fat cover on them, a prime. There was these prime, you might see an 1.5 inches of fat on some of them. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, but on those select, there was some fat, but he had a big, pan that any fat that he'd trim some of that off on the cutting board right there, and that's where he would trim them. Yeah. So,
and before you cook it, if there's any of those edges, they're just weird. They're just like weird fat. Yeah. So trim those off. They feel like tough, like leather.
Yes. You got to get rid of that stuff.
Get rid of those. You get rid of those. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So in your social media post, you talked about beef prices, and I don't know anything about it. Yeah. And so I just thought it'd be interesting for you to come on. I've noticed it for sure, but I don't know why.
Yeah. So, it's supply and demand. Okay. And that's all we're dealing with. Okay. And it is, I've been involved in both sides of this, from the raising cattle part to the, end user part with the restaurant. So you can see how all this works. Yeah. And, it's the lowest number of cattle that we've had in this country in 70 years. So it's the smallest cattle herd. Wow. So that was due in part to drought and, things like that. Okay. So it's big sell-off of, replacement heifers and things like that through the last, this didn't just happen overnight. It was this has been coming this way.
Okay.
And and we got there. Okay. And so, you look at that, and there's been record high prices for live cattle over the last year and a half, maybe.
Just because of scarcity?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Just only because of supply and demand. And it takes so long to rebuild that cattle herd, as with for example, chickens or pork, the pigs, those things are reproducing so fast, and they can rebuild everything so quickly. Yeah. It's very cheap protein.
Yeah.
A cow, it's 9 months to get a calf on the ground. And then once that calf is born, then it takes another 2 years before it's ready to go to the butcher. So
almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 years. So it takes a long time. And, pigs, they have those in the big warehouses and things like that. Cattle, they need a lot of acreage the cow-calf operation needs a lot of acreage to raise a cow and calf. So
have you ever seen the exponential proliferation charts of feral hogs or pigs? And it's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So when a cow goes to the feedlot, how long does it stay there?
Probably, a lot of those things enter the feedlot around 900 pounds, and they try to get those to 1,350 pounds is ideal for them to
400 extra pounds,
400 pounds, and they're going to average probably 3 to 4 pounds per day gain is what they're really pushing those cattle to gain 3 to 4 pounds a day.
Wow.
So if you do that math and you say you want to gain, 400 pounds, and that's 100 days.
100 days.
Mm-hmm. So 3 months, 3 to 4 months in the feedlot.
Wow. So from pregnant cow to in the store, 4-ish years. I mean, I'd say 4 years.
3.5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Takes a long time to produce that beef.
Yeah. What I remember in the drought of 2011, right? Was it 2011? Yeah. And I love to hunt, and we hunted in August, and we had incredible luck because we not deer hunted. We called coyotes, and we had so much luck because there was no water. I mean, and so we would drive around this ranch and see the dead cows. Because that was the last water on that whole ranch, and it just dried up. It was a bad deal. So I think it was maybe 1 or 2, but it's still sad. It's just weird to see. Yeah. It's just not something you see. But so this condition now is worse than 2011. You're saying?
Yes, I think 2011 was probably a little bit localized, probably within our region.
Yeah,
but this is this is United States.
Yeah.
Nationwide.
And last year was weird because we had a wet year, but the rest of the nation didn't, I think.
Probably lots of drought and lots of people selling off.
Yeah. And 2011 was that year where we had, at least in Texas, we had 100 days of 100 degrees. I think that's what it was. And it was
brutal.
It was brutal. It started in April and went through October. It was horrible. Yeah.
So another factor that you have to look at is this whole screwworm thing.
Yeah, I've heard about that, but I don't know much about it.
So the screwworm was basically eradicated in the 50s and 60s. Okay. And so by releasing sterile male flies to where the flies couldn't repopulate. Yeah. So couldn't reproduce. Yeah. So over the course of the last few years, there was some cattle that crossed the Panama Canal, and they have a station there that, this is the story I heard. And I don't. We probably need to fact check this, but I heard during COVID, all these people went home. Okay. At this station where they checked these cattle and crossed these cattle across the Panama Canal, and due to COVID, they were too scared to go to work, so they didn't. The cattle just came across with the screwworm flies. Wow. And so it made its way into Mexico, and then slowly has moved north, and now's in as close as San Angelo. Yeah. There's new cases every day. Yeah. So I think, I think as far as the hunters go, this screwworm is going to be, it's detrimental to the deer population.
I wonder, is it feral hogs as well?
I'm sure if anything has an open wound,
Oh, that's right. I heard about that. Yeah.
Yes. So the umbilical cord on a baby calf is what you really have to worry about. If
Yeah.
they're born in the summer months,
Yeah.
which deer are born in the summer months,
Yeah.
those fawns and those screwworms will hit those things and just wipe out the deer population.
Man, wow.
It's really terrible. They lay their larvae, and then within 2 days, they've got those larvae they're flesh eating, and they will spread, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
So any kind of wound on any animal, honestly, any open cut, scrape, ear tag, dehorning, lots of castration on bull calves and things like that. Yeah, you have to watch all that.
Yeah, and not to mention just they're moving all the time, so they get banged around or like predation or something like that. Yeah,
cut on a piece of brush, mesquite thorns.
Yeah, for sure. So you came out with that social media post about beef prices. Are customers complaining?
Yeah. I mean, you do get some pushback like, oh my gosh, briskets, how much?
Yeah.
And I think that, that people need to understand that, this didn't happen overnight. This has been going slowly creeping up. I mean, right before COVID, we were paying $2.50 a pound, and you can look at it now at $6.
Yeah.
And so it's a big difference. And when you get that $120 brisket, before you even cut open the package, you still have to pay somebody to trim it, season it, provide the wood to cook it. And, by the time we have a finished product sitting on that cutting board, we're looking at they average 4.5 pounds.
4.5 pounds.
Yes.
All of that.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes 5, but that 15 to 18 pound range, our cooked briskets average 4 to 5 pounds.
Wow. That's incredible.
So you can do the math. It is not a big money maker for us.
Yeah.
We would much rather sell you chicken or turkey or pork.
Yeah.
So
you make more and they get more, I guess.
There's a better, it's cheaper per pound.
Yeah.
It's cheaper. Our prices and our costs are way cheaper per pound on the poultry and the pork.
Interesting.
And so we have more profit margin in those products.
Okay.
By a long shot.
Really? Yeah.
Yes. Brisket, we sell more brisket than anything, but it is very, very minimal profit. Yes.
What kind of wood do you use? You use an oak?
We use all oak.
Okay. Yeah. I love that smell.
And it's
so great.
My granddad always used mesquite just because
it
was what was available. He actually had some guys that would come out and cut mesquite on his farm down there, and they would let it cure, and that's what he used. And when we started, we wanted to use oak, and I guess you can the videos and the what's trendy and what's cool. It's like this what I don't know. You can go back, but I do think the oak is less strong.
Yeah. Mesquite's pretty strong.
It is
if
strong.
You smoke for 10 hours. Yeah,
it does. And we grill with all mesquite. So we still use some mesquite to grill.
Oh yeah, it's so great. And mesquite's great because it's here and it's just like it wants to die.
Yeah.
There's always one you can see it just like falling over dead. Yeah, for sure. So wrapping up, I don't know. What do you want to plug? What is the sky's the limit? What do you plug in? What do you plug in the restaurant? You plug in Go Grill. You plug in a church deal. What do?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. What am I plugging? I would say, I don't know. I think, we're right now, I'll say this, that we're in a season of very, very busy times. Yeah. All this, people can say what they want about this AI stuff that's going on, the data centers. But I will say that it has been a big blessing for our business. Yeah. And most all restaurants that I know of in Abilene, in the area, have benefited greatly from this. I feel like if you own a small business right now in Abilene, you are benefiting from these guys.
Yeah,
so
sure.
they're here, they're spending money. Yes,
Restaurants and real estate. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And I know all the stuff about the water, and I know all the stuff about the real estate and the high prices.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think this has been a big boom for our economy. I know it's not going to be here forever,
Yeah.
and I know it's going to end one day, but
Yeah.
I think it's been a big boom for us.
Yeah.
Our employees are benefiting from this. I mean,
Yeah.
there's people are getting, we've got tons of catering projects and lots going on. There's lots going on in the city, and I think it's been a good thing for us.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah. And you guys, because you're catering every
Yeah.
day.
We cater out there a lot.
Okay.
Now, not all the time do we have 1,600 or 1,700 or 3,000 people, but those catering jobs do happen. Used to back in the day, it was Dancing with the Stars was the biggest thing in Abilene.
Really?
And that is a small project compared to some of these other things.
Oh,
So
that's crazy.
that 1,300 person catering at Dancing with the Stars is, there was the first week in May we cooked so much food,
Yeah.
and it was a safety week for all the data centers, and it was
Really?
just,
Huh.
it was 2,400 ribeyes,
That's
3,000 3-meat plates,
awesome.
all within the course of 2 days. It nearly killed us. So I think it's something that people need to know that it's good. It's been good for our economy and good for
Yeah.
our small businesses.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. How many people? 8,500 or something?
for those projects at the 1st of May.
Yeah.
Or out at those centers.
Yeah,
Oh
out there at
gosh.
the data center.
Yeah, from the numbers that we hear, it's anywhere from 7,000 to 8,000 people
Yeah.
at the Stargate facility,
Yeah.
and then that Vantage Frontier, whatever, out on Highway 351 at
Yeah.
Hamby. There's supposed to be 6,000 out there, and I don't know how.
Are you?
I don't know
are
if
you
I'm supposed to
helping
repeat
out?
that.
Are
We
you
might ought to cut that
helping out? Are you helping with that?
Yeah, we have catered out there.
Okay.
We've catered at all three. Yes,
Is that secret? We're not supposed to talk about. I don't know. Oh, okay.
NDA.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay,
I don't know.
all right. All right.
Yeah, they're
Well,
very hush hush about
okay.
all this.
Yeah,
So
we can cut it. So
yeah, we had to all sign NDAs. All 30 of us that went out there to cook those steaks. We were doing some videos of the steaks and stuff, and they sent it off to the team, and they said, "No, you can't post any of this."
I bet you never thought that cooking steaks would get you signing an NDA.
No,
That's
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
Well, we're at
anyway.
56 minutes. So thanks
Nice.
for coming by.
That
Byron
was-
Stephenson, go have steak and brisket,
Yeah.
but really chicken and sausage at the shed.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.